I was doing my weekly shop in the supermarket and people started shouting at me, saying things like, "Get away from me, you virus," and nobody stepped in to help me. My name is Feiya, I'm 22 years old and I'm a student in Edinburgh. When the news first started to report on the epidemic in China and how it was spreading to other countries, I felt terrified. People around me started making jokes like, "Oh, you don't have coronavirus, do you? Just making sure." Whenever I update myself on the news of the coronavirus, there will always be comments underneath it on the video or on the post that I'm looking at saying things like, "Oh, it's their fault, they deserve it. China deserves it," things like that. Even viral posts and memes that I have seen, such as people throwing coronavirus parties and dressing up as Asian stereotypes, generally poking fun at people who have contracted the virus, victims of the virus. It creates a sense of shame and guilt, even though it's not our fault. I felt this especially personally.
Why do you keep using this? A lot
Because
of
it
people
comes
say
from
it's
China.
racist.
It's not racist at all, no, not at all. It comes from China.
It was very, very disappointing to see that President Trump had called it the Chinese virus so publicly on his Twitter. This directly allows people to make the association between the epidemic with one specific nationality of people. It makes me think of the suffering and the negative impacts that this virus has had on the economy, the healthcare system, the well-being of people. And I think of my aunt who works as a doctor in Wuhan, and she's been working for 80 days continuously and not being able to see her family. It definitely diminishes the efforts of these people, and it diminishes their suffering and it diminishes their pain. Sadly, I have been a victim of directed abuse. I have been called racial slurs out in public multiple times, but the worst time was when I was doing my weekly shop in the supermarket and people started shouting at me, saying things like, "Get away from me, you virus," and nobody stepped in to help me. Even though everybody heard it, it was a very small shop. It was very humiliating, and it definitely took me a few days after that. I feel like I have the bravery to go out and just do my shopping, which isn't something that I should be made to feel, or anyone. As the situation gets worse in the UK, I think people have been realizing that we're in this together and that we need to work together and that we're all in danger, and there's no use in sectioning off one race of people and blaming everything on them. I hope that this period highlights the problems with racism towards Asians in particular as an area of improvement in society, and I hope that after lockdown people will treat each other with more respect, more compassion, kindness and acceptance.